Get ready for a major shake-up in British politics and your finances. Rachel Reeves, the first Labour Chancellor since 2010, is gearing up to deliver her highly anticipated October budget, and it's set to be a game-changer. With the country facing a £22 billion black hole in public finances, Reeves is planning to raise taxes, slash benefits, and introduce drastic cuts to government spending, all in an effort to stabilise the UK's fragile economy. But this isn't just about balancing the books. Reeves's decisions will shape the very future of Britain. The stakes couldn't be higher, and everyone from pensioners to high earners and public sector workers will feel the impact. As we dive into the details of this crucial budget, one question looms large. Will Reeves's tough measures rescue Britain's economy, or will they push it into deeper uncertainty? Rachel Reeves's first budget as Chancellor is making headlines for all the wrong reasons, or perhaps, depending on your perspective, exactly the right ones. The Labour government, which has been in power for less than a year, has found itself in a fiscal nightmare. Despite stronger-than-expected growth in the first half of 2024, the UK's financial situation is bleak. The economy grew by 0.6% between April and June, outperforming all G7 countries. But instead of this growth providing much-needed relief, the nation's spending remains out of control. Government borrowing soared to £3.1 billion last month, more than double the amount borrowed in the same month last year. The Office for National Statistics revealed that this was the highest July borrowing level in 3 years. Reeves blames reckless spending by the previous Conservative government, which she claims hid the true extent of the public finances crisis. Whitehall departments are forecast to overspend by £22 billion this year, forcing Reeves to make some of the most unpopular decisions of her political career. One of the most controversial parts of Reeves's budget is her plan to raise taxes. She's already laid the groundwork for an increase in inheritance tax and capital gains tax, targeting high-income individuals and the wealthy. The move will undoubtedly spark backlash from those affected, especially as inheritance tax often triggers strong emotional responses. Families passing on estates will now face steeper bills, with Reeves aiming to raise billions in new revenue, but it doesn't stop there. Pension tax relief for higher earners is also under threat. Reeves has indicated that Labour will seek to reduce the generous tax breaks for wealthier individuals, a move that will likely enrage the financial sector and some older voters. Her strategy is clear: raise funds from those who can afford to pay more, while preserving services for the most vulnerable. However, critics argue this approach risks alienating large sections of the electorate, particularly as many higher earners have already shouldered increased tax burdens over the last decade. If you thought the tax hikes were controversial, wait until you hear about the spending cuts. Reeves has made it clear that some Whitehall departments will face severe reductions in their budgets. The Treasury has already hinted that social care reforms and infrastructure projects, like road and rail improvements, are on the chopping block. These cuts, according to Reeves, are a necessary evil to bring down borrowing, which is set to exceed the Office for Budget Responsibility's (OBR) forecast of £87 billion for the 2024-25 financial year. Perhaps the most dramatic move, however, will be the cuts to benefits. Reeves has refused to scrap the deeply unpopular two-child benefit cap, a policy introduced by the Conservatives in 2017. Despite pressure from within her own party and from various social justice groups, Reeves insists that the financial situation is too dire to afford changes. Winter fuel payments, once a lifeline for pensioners across the country, are being scaled back, with only those on pension credit continuing to receive them. For many, this is the starkest sign of how severe Labour's cost-cutting measures will be. The OBR's role, Reeves' budget, will be shaped by the latest economic forecast from the Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, which has warned that even with the recent uptick in economic growth, the underlying state of the UK's finances remains precarious. While growth figures for the first half of 2024 exceeded expectations, the OBR points out that this recovery only made up for the contraction seen in the second half of 2023, when the UK was officially in recession. The OBR has revised up its growth forecast for the year from 0.8% to a slightly more optimistic 1.1%, but it warns that inflation and rising public spending, particularly on benefits, are creating unsustainable levels of borrowing. Reeves will receive the OBR's final assessment in early October, just weeks before she is due to deliver her budget. Sources close to the Chancellor say she is bracing for more bad news, with government borrowing for the first 3 months of the financial year already exceeding projections by £3.2 billion. While Reeves's tax hikes and spending cuts take centre stage, there's another simmering political storm brewing. The Conservative opposition, led by Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt, is preparing to challenge every line of the Chancellor's budget. Sunak and Hunt have been vocal about Labour's economic management, accusing Reeves of using the financial crisis as a smokescreen for pushing through tax rises that she had always planned. Jeremy Hunt, the former Chancellor, has been particularly scathing, arguing that Labour has inherited a resilient and growing economy, one capable of withstanding shocks. Hunt has pointed to the 0.6% growth in the first half of 2024 as proof that the Tories left the UK in a better position than Labour claims. The economy is growing, unemployment is down, inflation is under control, Hunt has said in recent interviews. But Reeves has pushed back hard, claiming that the Conservative government left behind a financial time bomb. She argues that Hunt's figures paint an overly rosy picture, ignoring the steep rise in government spending on welfare and public services. This is the worst financial inheritance of any Chancellor since World War II, Reeves declared, underscoring the gravity of the situation. The political fight over the October budget is set to be one of the fiercest in recent memory. Sunak and Hunt are positioning themselves as the champions of a free market economy, while Reeves argues for fiscal responsibility and fairness. The question is, will the British public side with Labour's vision of shared sacrifice, or will they rally behind the Conservative message of economic resilience? As October approaches, all eyes are on Rachel Reeves and the looming budget announcement. With tax hikes, benefit cuts and government spending reductions on the horizon, the Labour government is taking a bold and risky gamble to fix Britain's financial woes. Reeves insists her measures are the only way to stabilise the economy, but the opposition is ready to pounce on any missteps. Will this budget be the defining moment that secures Labour's economic legacy, or will it prove to be the undoing of the party's long-awaited return to power? One thing is certain. Britain is in for a rough ride, and the consequences of Reeves's decisions will be felt across every corner of the country. Whether it's pensioners facing reduced winter fuel payments or high earners grappling with new tax burdens, the October budget is set to reshape the future of Britain, and everyone will be watching closely to see what happens next. What are your thoughts on this? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your attention. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time.